it's Kat. I am here for a cool tattoo talk story time. I'm gonna get right into the beginning of my apprenticeship, how it all happened, how I got there, how I got here, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. It's gonna be real AF. So I've dabbled into this conversation a little bit before in my college dropout cat chat. I didn't get too detailed into it because that college dropout story wasn't about me being a tattoo artist. It was obviously about me dropping out of college, which everybody now knows twice now because I've said it like 5 times. If you haven't seen my college dropout video, that gives a huge backstory to this video. I will put the link in the description below. If you don't care about that backstory, which I won't get too into for this video, then keep watching. If you would like to know more backstory, go watch that video now and then click on this video again so that you know the progression. So when I was in high school, I had a really good friend, Mandy, and I think it was her who had said to me in grade 9, she was like, you should become a tattoo artist. That's gonna be totally you. It's your calling. Go do it. Why aren't you doing it? I was like, out of the cards. I don't really want to become a tattoo artist. I had turned 18. I had gotten my very first tattoo on my arm at the current shop that I work at, who is my current boss. And I went to college, dropped out of college, started working at Tim Hortons, and started designing for a few of my friends. My mom, on the other hand, was like, you should be charging these people. And I'm like, these people are my friends, Mom. I don't need to charge them. One day, my mom said to me, you should really just walk up to this tattoo studio and see if you can get an apprenticeship. My next day off, I went to the tattoo shop. I did not have anything on me. I didn't have a portfolio. I had nothing. I did say that if they did want to see some artwork, I can put together a portfolio. I didn't want to do it quickly and rush, but she still gave me my boss's contact information and said to contact him. I have found that throughout my art life, luck has just always been on my side. I've always flipped the coin and it landed on the side that I bet on. I contacted my employer immediately. He simply asked me to send him 3 of my best designs, and he was like, all right, come in the shop for Monday. And he gave me this like homework assignment to do. It was a Saturday. He wanted to see me on a Monday. I'm quite positive that an artist will really only take on 1 apprentice at a time. There's no real need for 2. And he already had an apprentice. He got her to do the exact same drawing so that he could compare them apples to apples and kind of see who was better. So I went in on Monday. I worked on this drawing for like 6 to 8 hours. I went totally off. I was really excited, but I was really nervous, and he ended up hiring me as an apprentice. At this time, disclosed that I did have another job, and I can put it down to part-time, you know, work mornings right after that, come to the shop. It was now me and the other apprentice as well. Internally, we were both fighting for an official position, and my first job that I initially had at Tim Hortons was not working. I was working really early hours and finished minutes before I had to be at the tattoo shop. And there was one day, I'll never forget it, and I'm so embarrassed and I hate that I did this, and I fell asleep on the couch at the tattoo shop during like one of my first or second weeks, and I got in quite a bit of trouble. Actually, we both did, because it just proved that we were like being lazy and we weren't taking it seriously and we weren't drawing a lot. I did end up quitting my Tim Hortons job because it caused me to be really tired at my new apprenticeship, and it was holding me back from like having full energy and being able to sleep in and focus on what I was doing at my new job. So to my understanding, each shop and each employer have their own idea of what an apprenticeship should be like. Some shops do it one way, other shops do it another way. My experience of having an apprenticeship was that I would go to the shop for the hours that they were open. I was there Monday to Saturday. I would work for free. I would sweep the floors, I'd clean the shop, I would learn and set up stations for my boss, making stencils for him, watch him tattoo like a hawk. I'm quite positive that typically an apprentice doesn't even really touch a machine for what should be about a year or so. You gotta put in your time. And I was honestly quite prepared to put in my time. But at the same time, I was also very impatient and eager to tattoo. I remember that I was so impatient that my boss went up to me one day and was just kind of like, okay, you want a tattoo? I'll let you tattoo then. Get somebody in and you're just gonna do it. I got somebody in. She wanted just a simple line work lotus that nowadays would be no problem. But I did this tattoo and I was so nervous. I was shaky. Those lines are like just haggard. I had totally forgotten everything that I had visually seen. Everything was just gone. My setup was rough. Obviously the tattoo was rough. My care for the tattoo while I was tattooing it was rough, and it humbled me very quickly. It didn't exactly discourage me, which I am surprised at because I am a very sensitive person, and usually if I don't do something right the first time, it discourages me very quickly. And this apprenticeship was tough because I cry a lot. I cried a lot. Nowadays, now that I've gotten a lot better, obviously I don't cry as often at work. Very few times, maybe like once every 2 months I'll shed a tear or so, but I used to be a huge crybaby, and that is not a really good look for somebody in the tattoo industry. In the end, all of the mistakes really helped me learn and become a stronger person and a stronger artist. I was humbled real quick, and I don't think I tattooed again for maybe like 2 or 3 months, but I picked up that machine pretty darn early in my apprenticeship, and it was because I was so impatient and so eager. And after a while, my boss walked up to me and he was like, all right, I'm not doing anything today. See if you can get somebody in. I'll walk you through some line work. At that moment, I was super stoked. I brought in my best friend. I had been creating a lot of Flash and drawing a lot, designing a lot, just trying to get used to actually creating a tattoo design. So I did my first real AF tattoo on my really great friend Emily. I did some mountains on her foot, and it turned out pretty good. From then on, I continued tattooing maybe like once a week or so. Usually tattoo shops, I'm quite positive, will get apprentices to start tattooing on fruit or fake skin or pig skin. I have never once experienced tattooing fruit or fake skin. My boss got me tattooing that one girl in the very beginning, and then I moved on to my friend Emily, and then I just kept on tattooing people until I actually had my first client. So while I was practicing tattooing on my friends and family, I wasn't making anything, still practicing, and it was really hard because I had quit my Tim Hortons job, and there were days sometimes where I hadn't eaten. And you know, I'd do my best not to say anything, not to complain when everybody at the shop would order food, and you know, it'd be like $13 or something, and I didn't have that. I didn't have any money. Whatever money I still had on my debit card, it was gone. It was out. I had paid for that food in the first few months. I'd pay whatever phone bill and stuff like that, but my family members, they understood. They were like, you know, she's putting in her time. She can't pay that rent. She can't pay that phone bill. It was tough. I was pretty darn hungry. So when I started making a percentage at the shop, it was like life-saving. When I first started working at the shop, there weren't really a lot of people there. It's kind of like a tight-knit family. And I'm not exactly sure if it's like this in other shops, but I mean, people have lives, you know. It seemed that, you know, receptionists came, they went, apprentices came, they went. So when I was introduced to the shop life, I had a lot of rudeness kind of shot at me. I'm a nice person. I like to be nice to everybody else, but you know, they had that mentality like I was gonna be here for a week and then I was gonna dip because I wasn't making any money. I became friends with the other apprentice that was there because she was young. She was kind of in the same boat that I was, so we were able to understand each other. Even though I desperately wanted to create a relationship with my other coworkers if we're going to be in this close living space together. And long story short, the other apprentice ended up leaving. I ended up dating one of the artists who I now live with. You all have met John. And I'm really good friends with my receptionist. So, I mean, I did have to put in my time not only to have the job, but to build the relationships that are so solid and are so meaningful to me today. So now, almost 2 years later, I obviously am a full-time artist. I'm moving along super quickly within the shop. I'm learning super quickly. I'm very proud of myself. I'm quite positive I have a pretty good reputation within the city that I am in. John and I are an amazing team. The spot of the shop is amazing. I think, like I said, I got lucky. I get lucky with art, and it's a really good placement. I'm really happy with where I am, and I think I had it really easy. I could have not tattooed for a full year, but I picked up the machine pretty quick. I should have gotten a lot of backlash for being eager and not being humble and having this ego, even though I was this crybaby who got discouraged so quick. Like, I was all over the place. But I still moved really quickly, and I think that's quite unconventional for new tattoo apprentices. You gotta put in your time. You gotta get bullied at the shop. I mean, people ignored me, but nobody ever peed in my ink. I've heard some crazy horror stories about some tattoo apprentices and what people have done to them. I got it easy. So I think that's about it for this video. If you like me and you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that little notification bell so that you get notified whenever a new video comes out. And I will see you guys sooner rather than later. Bye, guys.